All right. Well, thank you, Bill, and thank you, Jill, for one, taking the time to watch this video, two, for your time and consideration, and three, for the time that we spent earlier. And I just wanted to do a recap of the meeting earlier and then put together this quick video, which will go over, kind of what it's like to embark with us on a campaign and a project and go over some of the tools and resources and kind of just show you in real time. And so hopefully you can see my screen here. This is a picture of your current website. And as mentioned in the meeting, we did a little bit of poking around with your website and your Google search results, which you can see here from my screen. We also looked at your internet footprint or your internet presence with roughly 40 pages in Google, 51 in Bing, how many inbound links you have. That's fairly important because those are other websites across the internet that are all linking to you. It's a big influencing factor within Google. How many online reviews you have, not as important, and then just really what your current social media reach is or social media presence with 104 likes, 81 Twitter followers. So I really see an opportunity there to connect with your audience on social media, i.e. bringing them back to the website, sharing good relevant content with them in that regard. So what I recommend in terms of moving forward with a project based upon everything that I looked at in reference to what you currently have, and it looks like this site was recently launched, and based upon my conversations with Bill and most recently with Jill, it sounds like there's a lot of history with your company here, and it sounds like there's a lot of assets in terms of content and pictures and resources that are not currently being utilized, which further gets me excited about the project because bringing all of that content, sharing that with the right audience is really, in today's digital age, is the best strategy. And it also can be very, very important for the company if the company is ever looking to be sold, generating more traffic, better qualified traffic to your website, and obviously converting that into, say, an email list and say into a customer database is very, very important. So the first thing I wanted to share with you is whenever we're working with a client, our goal is to show 110% transparency into what we're doing day in, day out, week in, week out, month after month. And so we use a couple different tools. One is BaseCamp, which is a project management tool. You can research that on your own. And it's pretty much the industry standard. So no matter what type of company you decide to go with, they're probably going to be utilizing BaseCamp or something similar. And it's really a project management tool, which I'll go into. And then the next aspect that I want to show you is what we call our digital media marketing system, which is essentially a Google Doc, which integrates into BaseCamp. And the reason why we chose these two particular platforms is, one, BaseCamp gives us the ability to manage your project pretty much in real time with 100% transparency, and we do not use email to get lost. And also BaseCamp, the product is so simple that I've never needed, in 10 years that I've been working with the tool, I've never needed to train anybody. It's just, instantly get up and running. It's really, really cool. You can check it out. You might even want to use it for some of your internal projects. The second is Google Docs, and I guess we use Google Docs for lack of a better system or lack of a better tool out there. But one of the neat things I like about Google Docs is whether it be me that's doing work on your campaign, my team that's doing work, or even you working on the campaign, Google Docs is real time, so we could have 3 or 4 people working on this particular doc, and then anytime it's updated or shared, everybody gets notified, and you can set up notification rules, saying, hey, if this is ever updated or if anybody ever makes a change, email me the daily digest. Email me in real time. The same thing goes with BaseCamp. You can get a daily summary report of all activities, or you can just be notified in real time. So what I want to do is just kind of give you a quick overview on BaseCamp, give you a quick overview on this system that we have here within the Google Docs and how it's executed. And then we could set up an additional meeting where maybe I'll bring you on to one or two clients that are just a real live project. I didn't want to record a real live project with real client data just for security standpoint from their perspective. So these are just examples. But let's go into BaseCamp. BaseCamp is a real simple feature, whereas you have threaded discussions. Anybody creates a discussion, you get to notify the people that are on the particular project, the stakeholders. It wraps it up very, very nice. You can see all of the updates at any given time in the thread. I'm the only one on this particular project. We also have our to-do lists, which are really, really important, and we bring those over from project to project. And you can see that here we have a couple of different checklists. Here you can see a master checklist, which goes through probably 70 to 80 different activities, which are all very important. I call them foundational, call them search marketing type activities, which is, set up your Google local account. First thing we do is set up a Gmail account, or you can give us yours, but that is a shared account across the total platform, which we can tie to all your existing accounts. Therefore, everything we do, we are never tied into your system. It's all done within that Gmail account, which makes it very, very productive in terms of us being able to set up campaigns or set up user profiles and accounts in terms of the thousands of automated messages that you get from, say, Twitter and LinkedIn. And, we just create that Gmail account as a big old database, which we never delete anything. And, there'll be hundreds of thousands of messages in there after a couple of years, and you can obviously just sort through it very, very easily. And then, some of the basic things here are, make sure that Google Analytics is added to every page, make sure, the goals are set up and the goals in Google Analytics map directly to the campaign, competitive research. So we go through this entire checklist. And then we also have another checklist for building online profiles. We talked a little bit about that in our meeting, and that's important, just very foundational, search marketing, whereas there's no reason why your company shouldn't have a free listing on every single one of these sites. It doesn't take our team a long time, and it also gives you great syndication, whereas if you're ever looking to do a promotion or a press release, there's no better place than to get it out onto all of your accounts, which is a form of link building. So that's the to-dos area of BaseCamp, which we're constantly adding to-dos. We like to iterate on a monthly basis, which gives us the ability to have focus and to be very, very agile throughout the campaign, figuring out what's most important. So we just covered discussions, we covered to-do, then you have the text documents, which we keep track of your client contact information. We'll probably have another one of these for quick access to social media sites like Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Pinterest, Google+. So we might throw that up into a text document. There's also the ability to add files and do file sharing. So if you have pictures and videos, you can just dump them all in here, and it just makes it easy for one single place where everyone knows. And our rule of thumb is if it's in BaseCamp, it just gets done because that's our working platform. The other aspect that we use quite a bit, especially when it comes to content creation and themes throughout the year, is we'll set up a project calendar, which you can go in and just say, hey, this month we're going to be focusing in on this aspect, or we're going to do, customer testimonials this month or this quarter, and then just add events. And then this syncs directly to, our Google calendars, or even an Outlook calendar for that matter. And then it always is highlighted in a particular color, so you can just really keep track of, we use this for content planning. So that's BaseCamp, very, very easy to add people, and that's really our management platform. And then we move more over to the system, the digital marketing system that we would deploy for you. And we broke this down into, there's about 13 or 14 different areas. And I'll just go through each tab fairly quickly. Here you can see the index, which you can click on each one of these and go to the various tabs. But we like to measure and be held accountable to goals. We call them KPIs, key performance indicators. And the best KPIs that we like to keep track of is the number of leads that come in, number of phone calls, and number of conversion. Conversion would be saying opt into a newsletter or an opt-in, whatever the type of call to action, you can see in that the fact this is a digital campaign, you can tie it very nicely back to revenue, cost per transaction, conversion rate. We could set up conversion rates and hey, let's just measure engagement on our website or engagement to our content. And then less important KPIs is the number of visitors that you're getting to the website. It's really high level. I'd much rather see better quality rather than quantity. And then new customers, average revenue per customer. So this can generally be filled out by you or by us, or we just agree upon some KPIs which are really important. Then we flip over to your monthly dashboard, whereas we're constantly working on this document. This is a working document, as you'll be able to see. And on a monthly basis, we roll up the previous month. And this is just some data from an existing client. I'm not going to mention the client's name, but you can see that they're doing really, really well. Red means they've dropped down. Green means that they've increased. And just some high-level indicators that we like to keep track of. A lot of this information is redundant because it's just pulled from Google Analytics, but it just gives us one page to look at as a dashboard. So we see traffic, organic, paid, social, breakdown traffic. For search, we have a number of pages, number of backlinks. We talked about how backlinks are important. What's the authority of the domain name, and then your website is number of impressions. That just means you're showing up in Google based upon your content. The pages per visit. This is kind of measuring user engagement. The average time on the site. What is your current bounce rate? Then we measure some light social characteristics like Facebook friends and Google Plus followers and Twitter followers. And then we get down to conversions, which we would decide what it is that's most important, the KPIs, and then track and measure them. This is more transaction based, so you can see their conversion rate in here, their cost per lead, the cost per lead from pay-per-click, from SEO, and you can see everything is very easy to track and measure. This is just a client, some example data that's in here. So those are really centered around goals and tracking on a monthly basis. It's also supported by Google Analytics. But we'll back up a little bit into kickstarting the project with us. And first thing we'd like to do is just really to get to know who you are and what is the competitive landscape. And you might say that you don't have any competitors, or that you have 95% market share, whatever it might be, and the competitors really don't matter. But people are still searching, they're still finding search results. They're still, if you type in some of your keywords related to your business, like I don't know, tire flat proofing, they're still going to get a series of search results. So it might not be a direct competitor, it might be a softer competitor. But one of the things we like to do is list the competitor here, and then we'll break it out, what that current competitor is doing. I think I looked at one soft competitor, but we could just pull up a company like Tire Shield. And again, we didn't go into great depth. You would give us some competitors, we would give some. We can just look at these guys, and then we would do the same thing as we did with you earlier when I showed you that screenshot. We would look at how many visitors they get on a monthly basis. What's their current page rank? That's a scale of 1 to 10 that Google provides. How many pages do they have in Google? How in depth is their content? Pages in Bing. How many inbound links they have? How much trust do they pass through from their website? What is their pay-per-click budget? What are their top 5 keywords that they're currently targeting? And then we move over to social, and what is their social media reach? Where do they have the biggest audiences? We get a little bit into reviews, then we look at their overall strategy. And then every single one of these columns, you could say, of my competitors, who has the most links? Where are they getting those links from? Who's most active on Facebook? Where are they getting the most amount of engagement, whether it be videos or pictures or infographics? So it's really, really important to do competitive analysis. We don't do it on a monthly basis, but maybe look at it on a quarterly basis or yearly or bi-yearly. Some markets and some businesses that we play in, we look at it on a monthly basis because we're constantly striving to eat our competition's lunch. So moving on from competitive analysis, we get into keyword research, and we tell you which are the most popular keywords related to your business. And we like to build a good size list here, which are the most profitable keywords. From the competitive research, we'll know, what the competition is currently bidding on, how much they're paying per bid, what is the ROI based upon that particular keyword. How often is your brand name searched? What's the size of your category? So keyword research is really, really important, and then sprinkling that keyword research into your online profiles, your website, your meta tags, your description tags, your keywords, your blog posts, your content, and on and on. Next, at the beginning, we do a lot of work around building your target market personas. And you'll have 3 or 4 personas that you're going to go after, and we'll try to dig as deep as we possibly can in terms of the age, the gender, the industry, what are their current titles, income levels, geography, psychographics, pain points, what are they heard saying, what do they talk about, what terminology do they use. You can see just really going in depth in terms of understanding who they are. And this is important because when we're doing outreach on social media, i.e. LinkedIn, or looking to build LinkedIn groups, we'll understand what makes these people tick and where they currently are. It's also very important too, because you can see that we're following a line over here, whereas we understand what the competitive landscape is. We understand the keywords that people are searching for. We understand the target market personas. Now what we're going to do is build our content to give these people exactly what they want. So the more time we spend understanding the personas and working with you to make sure that we even give each one of a name, like Frank, we understand Frank. Frank's interested in this. Let's create some content for Frank. So let's move down the continuum here. And when we get into content, we call this the types of contents. This is just a typical funnel, which you're used to looking at. Top of the funnel is more for research type content, so you're trying to just attract a much larger audience. Middle of the audience is people that are pre-qualified. And then at the bottom, that's getting people ready to buy. So you can see at the top of the funnel, those are maybe some white papers and some guides and some maybe checklists and some videos that you might do just to attract your broader audience. In the middle of the funnel, you might want to be doing webinars or product videos or download pieces or your brochures. And then at the bottom, that's where you might have offers and buyer guides and just moving people through that entire funnel. And then that translates into really just brainstorming some titles and some descriptions and some keywords and infographics. And if you have collections of videos and pictures of going back and just really, really telling the story. And the way that this is set up, you have your titles, which are actually called meta titles. So that's actually what lives in the browser or what lives on Google. So it's really important that we set up your content in this fashion to maximize search. Let me go back here. And then descriptions are what appears on Google in the below the blue bar, and it's also what lives on social media when you share a link. Keywords are important to get that into the copy. H1 is a heading. So a lot of times when you write content, the perfect page has a heading and then a paragraph, another heading, and then maybe bullet points, and then a third heading, and then maybe some type of graphic or things like that. And then each piece of content that is created must have a call to action. In other words, like you have to tell people what to do, like download this or like this content or subscribe it here or tweet it or share it on Facebook, whatever it might be. And then that maps back to the middle of the funnel. So again, moving along the continuum as we publish content on a weekly basis or monthly basis, whatever cycle we set up, which gets into the type of campaign that you buy from us. We keep track of it here, and then make sure that it's gets approved and published and onto the site and all that good stuff. We also want to identify what we call influential community members, and those are people who are our trusted partners, having a 10 people who, are very influential, whether it be inside your company or outside your company. They can help you share some of your social media content. And lastly, which I don't know where the page went here, but we keep track of what's called your social media reach, which is how many Twitter followers you have, how many Facebook likes you have, how many LinkedIn connections you have. And so your community is continuing to grow, because there's no point in having 80 Twitter followers and then posting a blog post to your 80 Twitter followers, which probably have all grown organically. They haven't been corralled via outreach. So this, along with Google Analytics, tying things into getting stuff done with BaseCamp, is kind of what you're in for from a project standpoint. And rather than as Bill mentioned in the meeting earlier, I think there's a lot of building blocks that need to be put in place before just jumping into this, or just deciding upon, hey, we're really going to focus on this LinkedIn group, or hey, LinkedIn is going to be the platform. Let's spread a wide net specific to your target market, test quite a few things, iterate quite a few things, but the strategy is more content in more places. Connecting to the right audience will lead to success. So hopefully this video was helpful. I'd be happy to do a live demo and go through things in much more detail, or even things at more of a high level. But hopefully we got through our email problems. I will publish this, and just let me know if you have any questions. Obviously, I'm very interested in earning your business, and I think we could do some cool things together. Thank you.